Hi, my name is Alexandria Peters, and I'm here for the Policy 632 social work class, and today I'm going to discuss gay marriage and discrimination. Currently in the US, there are about 9 million adults who identify as LGBTQ. To put that in perspective, that's about the size of the state of New Jersey. Um, Currently, 22% of LGBTQ people report being discriminated at work for their sexuality and it being preventing them from promoting or being paid the same as their heterosexual peers. Currently, on workplace discrimination, the national unemployment average is about 9%, but for LGBTQ people, it is about 13%. And for individuals who are transgender or non binary, it is even higher at 16%. Like all issues, there's our pros and cons of both sides. First, we're going to discuss the pros of gay marriage. Uh, Gay marriage adds tax money to the city's local economy. The reason this is the government revenue from marriage comes from marriage licenses, higher income taxes in some circumstances, and decrease in cost for the state benefit programs. In July of 2012, New York City announced that gay marriage had contributed to $259 million to the city's economy since the practice had become legal. The UCLA found that the first 5 years after Massachusetts legalized gay marriage in 2004, same-sex wedding expenditures such as venue rental, wedding cakes, had added about $111 million to the state's economy. This is all money that can be used on schools and other things that help the population as a whole. Another pro of same-sex marriage is that it decreases divorce rates. Massachusetts, the first year they legalized gay marriage, they saw that they had the lowest divorce rate of anywhere in the country, as they were the first place to legalize gay marriage in the United States. And we have seen that consistently, that when a state would legalize gay marriage, we would see the divorce rate in that state fall by several percent. And when Alaska in 1998 put a gay marriage prohibition, they saw the divorce rate climb. In addition, gay marriage is also good for the physical and psychological health of same-sex couples, as they are able to access the same social supports that as heterosexual couples are, and you see a decrease in psychological issues. Anytime you see a decrease in psychological issues, it's going to be good for the community as a whole, because you're going to have less of some of those issues that sometimes come with some of those mental health disorders. And you're going to be spending less taxes on helping them deal with the mental health issues they have that they need access to services for. In addition, same-sex marriage is good for children in foster care, because same-sex couples are more likely to adopt from foster care than straight heterosexual couples, due to same-sex couples not being able to biologically make a baby together. So that is good for the children who need a loving home. Now we're going to discuss the cons of gay marriage. One of the arguments against the discrimination laws is that by enacting these discrimination laws, it infringes on the other people's right to religious freedom, that Christian colleges could be forced to hire employees who identify as LGBTQ, which interacts on their religious beliefs. Another is that private business owners could be forced to participate in these gay marriages, which goes against their beliefs, and they feel like that's trampling on their religious freedom, which is a rough thing, because we do have religious freedom in this country and everybody should be able to practice their religion as they see fit. So that is one of the arguments against the discrimination laws. Another one of the cons is that it's a slippery slope. By granting one non-traditional marriage the right to marry, that opens that up for other non-traditional relationships to say we also want rights, whether that's non-monogamous, whether that's bestiality, whether that's pedophilia, whether that's incest. All of these groups, after the legalization of gay marriage, have in some way, these people have came out and said that they're being persecuted just like the gay community was, which creates the argument that if you do one thing, it just continues to be another, like the you give a mouse a cookie argument. Another con of gay marriage is that children need both a mother and a father. Girls who are raised apart from their fathers are reportedly at a higher risk for early sexual activity and teen pregnancy. It is also reported that children who were raised by parents who had same-sex relationships suffered more difficulties in life, including sexual abuse and unemployed later in life than children raised in intact biological families. So with children suffering, that makes a great argument of whether these parents should get equal adoption rights. And because we want to do what's best for the children in these situations. Another con of same-sex marriage is that it forces people to pay taxes for things that they don't want to support or they believe is wrong. Because once gay marriage was legalized, that gave same-sex partners the right to Social Security benefits and things like that. Some of that stuff is taxpayer funded, and so with it being taxpayer funded, even if it violates your religious beliefs, you're still in a sense paying for that. And that becomes a tricky issue of separation of church and state in making people pay for things they're religiously opposed to. With gay marriage, like many issues, it's a tricky issue where people have a lot of opinions. Currently, in a recent survey, nearly half of Americans support enacting discrimination laws for LGBTQ individuals, but that also leaves another half of the country that does not, so that leaves our country very divided. Currently, we see the discrimination laws going up before the Supreme Court, and to try to decide whether this sect of people should be protected or not. It'll be very interesting in the coming months and years to see what happens with that, as currently some states do offer protections for LGBTQ persons, other states do not. Some states just offer protection if you are a public employee, but if you work for a private business, you are guaranteed no protection under the law. More states than not, though, offer no protection under the law. So this new case in the Supreme Court is exactly what they're talking about as to whether you can discriminate against somebody due to their sexuality. Well, thank you for listening.